Good afternoon and welcome. We have 5 minutes with this morning. The time is yours.
Ngā mihi nui ki a koutou katoa. Nō kernau ahau, he tangata tiriti ahau, he kaiwhakahare o Ara Taiohi e mahia ana, ko James and tōtoko wingua. Thank you for the opportunity to present to this select committee. We regret that it is only for 5 minutes, but we will do our best to get through our most important points. Today, I speak on behalf of the youth development sector, a sector that works with and knows the young people that will be affected by this bill. We share a goal. We all want less victims of crime, but this is not the way to do it. Military-style academies, or MSAs, operate in direct opposition to the evidence-based approaches of youth work. MSAs are based fundamentally on a flawed assumption that these young people, these children, are the problem. It fails to recognise that the problematic behaviour of young people targeted by this legislation is symptomatic of problems that are universally understood, social determinants that include poverty, abuse, and limited access to health and education. Sadly, the structure of our society means that young tangata whenua and tangata moana are among those least likely to have access to the necessary supports, resulting in statistics and stories that cannot be ignored. We have watched many of the previous submissions to this select committee, and we have not heard a single expert or practitioner promote MSAs as effective on any level. The 3-month trial bootcamp did not work, and a 12-month bootcamp will not only not work, it will increase the trauma and challenges faced by young people in conflict with the law. We know that it is often in strict environments such as military-style academies where the worst of abuse has the potential to thrive, as evidenced by the Royal Commission of Inquiry into Abuse in State and Faith Care, and we are deeply concerned for the lives of the young people impacted by the proposed scheme. The MSA structure is grounded in the premise that if you cut young people off from the negative influence and stresses in their lives, a disciplined program will fix them. Upon returning to their original environment, now a serious young offender, that young person is expected to be immune to the same factors that drove their behaviour in the first place. The proposed patchwork of community and youth development support will start with one hand tied behind its back. It's not realistic to expect the structure to address the systemic and real issues that are setting our young people up to fail. The bill and recent cuts to public funding for community run counter to the government's social investment approach. At a time when the Social Investment Agency seeks to improve outcomes for people through systematic, consistent and rigorous use of data, it is incomprehensible that the government continues to pursue military-style academies. So what will work? In November 2023, with the inclusion of MSAs in the government's 100-day plan, over 40 youth specialists developed Reimagining Safer Communities, a paper that has been shared with the Minister for Children and Oranga Tamariki. It highlighted research that shows short-term circuit breaker experiences can be effective, but only when they are voluntary and include therapeutic interventions. 3 weeks voluntary is a circuit breaker. 1 year compulsory military-style academies is a prison. If we truly want less victims of crime, solutions will emerge in partnership with community when we focus on the root causes of inequality. This approach transformed youth justice in the 1980s when, led by tangata whenua, the family group conference structure, now a global approach, emerged. Young people need a village of supports. We've seen the difference that positive youth development approaches can make to young people's lives. We need to invest in evidence-backed approaches for young people with complex issues, rather than moving toward punitive, disproven approaches. Let's not set our young people up to fail. Let's work together to invest in structures that will make a difference. We call on the committee to reject this bill. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa.
Thank you. We have a question from Willow Jane.
Kia ora, Jane, and sorry your time is so limited. Can you please talk more to your statement that the trial did not work and any views you have on the pilot, which I understand is informing this legislation that's already going through?
My comments would be anecdotal. My understanding is there's already been a significant number of young people that have disengaged with the community supports that are available, and that has resulted in offending, which of course impacts the public, as well as their whānau and those young people themselves.
Thank you for making a submission this afternoon.